The person who has been through the most in this room is almost always the one taking care of everyone else in it. And nobody ever stops to ask why. Think about the kindest person you have ever known. The one whose empathy felt real, not performed, not polite, not rehearsed. The kind that reaches you in places you didn't even know were hurting. Now think about their story. I guarantee there is pain in there. Loss that changed them. Betrayal that broke something open. Seasons of their life where they were completely alone, with no one showing up for them the way they show up for everyone else. That pain and that kindness are not two separate things. They are the same thing. And what you are about to discover in this video will completely change how you see your own suffering and your own heart. Because the story of why the most broken people become the most beautiful starts with something that happens deep inside the brain. Something that most people never realize is happening to them. And it starts right now. Picture this. You are having the worst night of your life, not the kind of bad that passes quickly. The deep kind. The kind where you are lying in the dark at 2 a.m, and the weight of everything is pressing down so hard you can barely breathe. And you reach out to someone you trusted, someone you believed would be there, and they weren't. Maybe they didn't know what to say. Maybe they made it about themselves. Maybe they told you to think positive and move on. Maybe they simply disappeared right at the moment you needed them most. And you learned something in that silence that no one ever teaches you in school. You learned what it feels like to be invisible in your pain, to be carrying something real and heavy and true, and have the people around you look straight through it. That experience, that specific, particular loneliness, did something to you. It made you permanently unable to look away when someone else is hurting. It made you the person who notices the quiet one in the corner, who checks on the friend who said they were fine a little too quickly, who stays even when staying is inconvenient, because you know exactly what it feels like when someone doesn't. But here's the truth that most people never stop long enough to realize about themselves. Today, you are going to understand exactly why the pain you carried didn't just change you. It built something inside you that most people will spend their entire lives trying to find. In this video, you will discover 5 powerful psychological reasons why people who have suffered the most become the kindest, most emotionally intelligent, and most genuinely powerful people in any room they walk into. Stay with me until the end, because step 1 alone will change the way you see everything you have been through. Step 1. Why pain destroys the walls between yourself and others. The psychology of earned empathy. Nobody talks about this. There is an invisible wall that exists between most human beings. A subtle emotional barrier that keeps people slightly separate from each other. Slightly protected, slightly unable to fully feel what another person is going through. Most people never notice this wall, because nothing in their life has ever been powerful enough to tear it down. But pain does. Deep, real, personal pain. The kind that brings you to your knees but doesn't just hurt you. It dismantles every emotional barrier you ever built. And once those walls come down, they never fully rebuild. You become permanently more open to the emotional experience of other people than you were before. Psychologists call this earned empathy, and it is completely different from ordinary kindness or natural compassion. Here is the difference. Ordinary kindness says, I can see you are hurting. I am sorry. Earned empathy says, I know exactly where that pain lives inside a person. I have felt it from the inside, and I am going to meet you there. Picture this. Someone comes to you completely broken after a betrayal. They don't need advice. They don't need solutions. They need someone to look them in the eye and say, what happened to you was real. it was not your fault, and you are not crazy for being destroyed by it. You know how to say that, not because someone taught you, but because someone failed to say it to you at the exact moment you needed it most, and you never forgot how that silence felt. That is not something you learn from a book. That is something that only lives in people who have been through the darkness and chose to use it as a lantern for someone else. But wait, because what happens in step 2 will show you just how precise your pain made you. And this one surprised even me. Step 2, how suffering teaches you what people truly need and changes how you treat them forever. Stop. This is the one that changes everything. Most people think kindness is about doing nice things, saying the right words, being generous, being present, and yes, those things matter. But that is surface level kindness, the kind that makes people feel acknowledged, appreciated, noticed. The kindness that comes from deep personal suffering is something completely different. It is surgical. It goes exactly where the pain is, without being asked, without needing directions, without fumbling around trying to figure out what someone needs. It already knows. Here is why. Picture this. You are at a party. Everyone is laughing. Music is playing. Conversations are happening everywhere. But there is one person standing near the wall, holding their drink, smiling just enough to not seem out of place. Everyone else walks past them without a second glance. But you stop, because you have been that person. You know exactly what is happening behind that smile. You know they are not fine. You know they came tonight hoping connection would make the weight lighter. And instead they feel more alone than they did at home. So you walk over, you sit down. You don't ask, "Are you okay?" because you already know the answer. You just stay. And in staying, you give them the one thing they came hoping to find. Psychologists call this experiential attunement. It means your personal history of pain has calibrated you with extraordinary precision to recognize and respond to the specific emotional needs of the people around you. I think about what that means. Every hard thing you went through, every night you cried alone, every moment you needed someone and they weren't there. All of it, every single moment of it, was quietly teaching you how to be exactly what someone else needs. Your suffering was not wasted, it was curriculum. And here is the emotional truth that most kind people never allow themselves to fully receive. Every time you show up for someone in exactly the right way, you are not just helping them heal. You are transforming your own pain into something that matters, something that lasts, something that reaches forward through time and touches a life that needed exactly what only you, because of exactly what you went through, could give. We are halfway through, and step 3 is the one that most people find the hardest to admit about themselves. But it is the most honest thing in this entire video. Step 3. Why people who have been through pain never want others to feel what they felt. This is the part most people never say out loud, but it is the most honest truth about why kind people are the way they are. It is not always about being naturally good. It is not always about being raised right. It is not always about having a generous spirit that existed from the very beginning. Sometimes it is simpler than that and more painful. They are kind because they remember. They remember exactly what it felt like when nobody was kind to them. And somewhere in the middle of their own suffering, quietly, without ceremony, without anyone witnessing it, they made a decision. Never again. Not on my watch. Not to someone standing in front of me. Think about the specific moments in your own life that shaped how you treat people today. Apply the time you were left out and felt the particular sting of being invisible to a group of people who were supposed to see you. The time you were going through something devastating and someone responded with indifference. The time you were at your lowest and instead of a hand reaching down, you got silence. Now think about how carefully, how instinctively you treat people in those exact situations today. You are the one who includes the person on the outside of the group. You are the one who takes devastation seriously instead of minimizing it. You are the one who reaches down every single time because you know what it feels like when nobody does. Psychologists call this protective compassion. It is the deep psychological drive to prevent others from experiencing the specific pain you yourself survived. It is what turns a person who was abandoned into the one who never leaves. What turns a person who was dismissed into the one who always listens. What turns a person who was broken into the one who helps others stay whole. And here is what this means about you specifically. Your kindness is not random. It is not just your personality. It is not simply who you happen to be born as. It is a map of every moment someone failed you, drawn in reverse, rewritten, transformed into something that protects the next person from ever having to feel what you felt. That is not just kindness. That is one of the most quietly heroic things a human being can do. Don't stop now, because step 4 is the one that will change how you see your own healing completely. Step 4. How kindness becomes a form of healing for people who have suffered deeply. Here's something that will stop you in your tracks. Your kindness is not just helping other people, it is healing you. Read that again. Every act of genuine kindness you extend to someone else, every moment you show up, stay present, make someone feel less alone, is not just an outward gift. It is an inward medicine, working on you, quietly, powerfully, in ways you may never have fully realized until right now. Here's the psychology behind it. When you go through deep personal pain, your suffering feels purposeless, random, like something that happened to you for no reason and left nothing behind except damage. And that feeling, that sense of meaningless suffering, is one of the heaviest things a human being can carry. But here is what happens when you transform that pain into kindness. The suffering stops feeling random. It starts feeling like it was pointing somewhere all along. Like every hard thing you went through was, in some way, you couldn't see at the time, preparing you to be exactly what someone else needed. Psychologists have found that meaning is the single most powerful force in human healing, more powerful than time, more powerful than distance, more powerful than simply trying to forget and move on. Viktor Frankl, a psychologist who survived unimaginable suffering, concluded that people can endure almost anything if they can find meaning in it. Your kindness is your meaning. Picture this. You are sitting with a friend who just went through the exact kind of heartbreak you survived 2 years ago. And as you listen, really listen, you feel something shift inside you. Not just the satisfaction of helping, something deeper, something that feels almost like, this is why I went through that, so I could be here, right now, for them. That feeling is not imagination. That is your nervous system recognizing that your pain has been transformed into purpose. And every time that happens, every time your suffering becomes someone else's lifeline, another piece of what you carried gets lighter. You are not just giving kindness away. You are exchanging pain for purpose, wound for wisdom, isolation for connection. And that exchange, that quiet, ongoing, deeply human process, is one of the most beautiful forms of healing that exists. Step 5. Why the kindest people are not naive. They are the strongest people in the room. Here's the truth that kind people most need to hear, and the one that the world most consistently gets wrong about them. People look at someone who is genuinely, consistently, deeply kind, and they make an assumption. They think that person just hasn't been hurt enough yet. They are still innocent, still naive, still waiting for life to teach them that people can't be trusted. Stop. that assumption is not just wrong. It is exactly backwards. The kindest people you will ever meet are not kind because they don't know pain. They are kind because they know it better than almost anyone else in the room. They have been through things that would have turned most people cold, and they chose warmth anyway. They have been betrayed by people they trusted completely, and they chose to trust again. They have been broken in ways that most people never recover from, and they chose to remain open. That is not innocence. That is one of the most extraordinary acts of courage a human being can perform. Think about what it actually costs to stay kind after the world has shown you its worst. It costs something every single day. Every time someone takes advantage of your openness. Every time your gentleness is mistaken for weakness. Every time you give someone the benefit of the doubt and they prove you wrong. Every time you show up with a full heart and come home with it slightly more bruised than before, and yet you show up again tomorrow with the same heart, the same openness, the same refusal to become what hurt you. Us psychologists call this resilient compassion, the ability to maintain genuine warmth and care for others, not in spite of personal suffering, but forged directly in it, tested by it, proven by it. Picture this. Two people go through the exact same betrayal, the exact same heartbreak, the exact same season of darkness and loss. One comes out hardened, walls up, trust gone, kindness rationed carefully to only the people who have already proven they deserve it. The other comes out softer, more open, more aware of how much pain exists in the world, and more committed than ever to not adding to it. Same experience, two completely different choices, and the person who chose softness chose it knowing full well what it might cost them, because they decided, consciously, courageously, and powerfully, that they would rather be hurt again than become someone who hurts others. That is not weakness dressed up as kindness. That is the strongest decision a human being can make, and it is the decision you make every single day, whether you realize it or not. The world does not need more people who have never been hurt. The world needs more people like you, people who have been through everything and came out the other side still choosing to be kind. That is not the easiest thing a person can do. That is the hardest, the rarest, and the most powerful, and it is exactly and completely who you are. So let's bring this all together. You have been through pain that most people around you never fully saw. You carried things in silence that would have broken people who never had to carry them. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, without anyone asking you to, you made a choice that most people never make. You chose to stay open. Now you understand why that choice matters more than you ever realized. Your pain tore down the walls between you and others, giving you an empathy that reaches places ordinary kindness never can. Your suffering calibrated you with extraordinary precision to know exactly what people need before they even ask. Your worst moments became the reason you refused to let anyone else feel invisible in their pain. Your kindness became the very thing that healed you by giving everything you went through a purpose that lasts beyond your own story. And your gentleness, and the thing some people mistook for weakness, was never weakness at all. It was courage, chosen deliberately every single day. So the next time someone tells you that you are too kind, too sensitive, too open for this world, look at them calmly and remember this: you are not too much. You are exactly what this world needs more of, and you became that, not in spite of your pain, but because of every single piece of it. If this video finally said something you have needed to hear for a long time, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with the kindest person you know, the one who shows up for everyone, the one who has been through more than most people realize, the one who gives and gives and gives, and rarely ever asks for anything in return. let them know. Their kindness is not weakness. It is the most powerful thing about them. If this helped you, hit the like button right now. It takes 1 second, and it means more than you know. Subscribe if you want more psychological insights that help you understand yourself and the people around you more deeply every single week, and drop a comment below. Tell me, are you someone who has been through pain and came out kinder? Just say, yes, this is me. I read every single comment, every single one. Next video, we are going to talk about something just as powerful. Why people who have been hurt the most find it the hardest to ask for help, and what finally happens when they do. You will not want to miss that one.